Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we had another great day in the markets where even though we've had a bit of a rough week just with SPY, pretty much the whole market, even in other countries as we saw in Japan, the market's been terrible over there. But even though we're kind of dealing with all this crazy stuff, all this volatility, we're still getting some moves in the right direction. So for example, today we saw Ford go back over $10. We saw American Airlines go to almost $10, and we also saw BYND, that's Beyond Meat, that had a very, very big move today. So I want to give you guys a bit of a recap, but also showing you what I'm going to be buying after selling out of my Beyond Meat shares, because I do want to put that money into other stocks, and what my plan is for these stocks that I'm already up on. Because there's really, the more I think about it, there's a lot to do here because we've got to move some money from profits into some stocks that we're not hitting those profits on yet, and we've got to look for new positions because trust me, there are many new positions that you might have not guessed already that are being made when we get these crazy volatile days. So one thing that I'm looking at right now to kind of make a pretty big position, and as you can see, actually before I show that, as you can see, I am completely out of my Beyond Meat shares, so I didn't have the best average originally. I had an average of 601, so I decided, well, the market's really, really volatile. Let's go ahead and get out of Beyond Meat because I think we can all agree it's not going to be volatile to the upside as much as it will be to the downside. That's pretty much what the whole market is thinking at the moment. No crazy bull runs within, the next couple of months. So we're going to relocate this money somewhere else. Now, I do still believe this stock is definitely a buy, absolutely. If it can go back to these low $5, like 5.30 would be another great place to buy. It's basically the worst it's been all year. I think it's like the worst it's pretty much ever been, which is crazy for Beyond Meat because this was a stock that was consistently trading for crazy amounts of money, right? So this could definitely go back up. It's just about where we get those entries. So anyways, what stock am I looking to repurpose that money into? Disney is a massive one. I think Disney right now is pretty much free money. And I only have a couple Disney shares right now. I only have 3 Disney shares, tiny part of my portfolio. I'd like to get this to at least 10 shares before the end of the month. Let's say if it can hit about $80. Because if we go to well, actually, maybe not the 1 month, probably the 3 month would work best. No, not even the year. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So on the year, we see that $79, which is pretty much $80 when you round up just some cents was the low. Now we saw that again here. It popped up from there, popped up from there, popped up from here, which is a little over $80. It did very well after hitting that. Now, why did it go up from that zone? Well, in the 5-year chart, that's basically the lowest it gets. If we go all the way back here to COVID lows, this is the lowest it got. It actually got a little bit lower. Robinhood doesn't do the greatest job of showing exactly what prices were hit. So it was about $80 in the very worst part, during the very worst time of COVID. And so the $80 is pretty much where it turned around from all the way up to $200. Now, we are all the way back down from there. And I did buy a lot of shares when it hit $80 over here, sold them at $100, didn't take all the profit I could have taken, it went all the way up to $122, so I should have held for sure. My plan is here to be acquiring these shares and holding them for a very long time. It doesn't really make sense to sell Disney, and this is why. If we go to the max chart, it is up. However, if we go all the way back here, to 2014. Since 2014, it has not moved. It's actually lower now. Oh, sorry. It was lower earlier today, not right now because the market kind of corrected, but it was just about what it is today 10 years ago. It just has not moved, which is absolutely insane considering since then we've had streaming services like Disney Plus, we've had the parks reopen after COVID, and of course a much more effective and better run balance sheet. Let's take a look at some other stuff. So yeah, I have pretty much no shares right now. I do have, where does it show our buying power? I do have more buying power than this. I was just in a few swing trades, and so that got freed up. Now we've got a little bit over 1,000, and I'd like to put that into some Disney shares. They have a very small dividend yield, market cap. Nothing crazy. It's really nothing crazy when it comes to Disney. I think this is undervalued here, and their P ratio is still very, very high, right? So it's not like we're talking about something that's treated as a very undervalued stock, which I think could be, in some cases, an advantage. Hedge funds and insiders both have been buying more than selling. That's a good sign for sure on Robinhood, which is just pretty much retail traders. At this moment in time, there's more buying than selling, but it is, as you guys can see, pretty back and forth. If we go to analyst ratings, 71% are saying, well, just about 71% are saying it's a buy, the rest is hold, and it looks like just like one or two out of the 34 analysts, probably just one, is saying to sell. So the sentiment is definitely bullish for Disney. Now, their other stuff like EPS has been increasing. We've seen an increase in EPS for a full year now. Always a great sign, especially when the actual stock price is dropping. So that is a little bit of an arbitrage opportunity. Their fair value is $115. Even if that were the case, I believe it could get higher pretty quick, like within a year. Do higher than $115. But even if that was the case, that's still significantly higher than the $86 it's currently at, and the $80 that I'd like to get a lot of shares at, right? So definitely a good buy there. Now another stock that looks really good is UPS. I did sell some UPS to repurpose it into Ford and American Airlines. Well, they're down, and so I hardly have any. I only have 1.5 shares of UPS, but I made sure to get good limit orders for those sales. So this is one that I want to load up on and target maybe like $120 average if I can somehow get down there. It did get to 123, not quite 120, so if it can drop just a few more percentage points, that would be great on the 5-year. It's not as bad as Disney because we have had this big run, and it's still up from where it was back in 2014. It's still up significantly, but not as much as it should have within those years. The average gain, the average return from that point should be somewhere like 10 to 14%, but it's not. It's really only like 30% at best, but that's not counting where we were, excuse me, before in 2021 and 2022, and of course 2023 where it really started dropping. So those are two stocks I'm looking to buy now. Little updates on some stocks we've been taking some profit on recently. We got Ford today, and this is a bigger part of my portfolio. We've got over 150 shares. Today we made $60 on Ford, but I did sell some Ford shares. I sold maybe 5 throughout the whole day. And then for American Airlines, we made a little bit more than $60. We made $127 today. So it has dropped a little bit in after hours, but like I said, it just barely is reaching $10 now. So looking very good. Our average cost is even lower than in the previous video. We've got over 200 shares. I sold maybe like 5 to 10 today just to take a little bit of profit, and then that way we can use that buying power to buy in case it drops all the way back down to the low 9s yet again, because I'd love to do that. So that's our little update. Thank you guys very much for watching the video. If you have any questions, make sure to leave those in the comments because I'll respond to those as soon as possible, like what stocks I'm looking to buy, what stocks I'm looking to sell, that kind of thing. But if you want to see all that information live, I do have a Discord and I'll link that in the description. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely do so because you see like where I'm taking profit on everything. It's like very detailed reports of every single one of my positions, and there's more in there than you think. So with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. I would appreciate it if you liked and subscribed because I am trying to get the channel monetized, and I do need many watch hours for that, so I really would appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.